What is up, guys? It's your boy Sticky D coming to you live from the beautiful Stettler, Alberta, up here in whitetail camp with the boys. And Mike and I had an evening to kill here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about our film setup for whitetails, filming from a tree stand. I've been getting a ton of questions about a lot of the gear we use, the settings we run, and how we film. So I just wanted to go over a couple things on basically start to finish setup and the stuff we use. So follow along. It's gonna be pretty camera winded. I'm a camera guy, so I like talking about this stuff. So start first with the stand setup. Typically hunter's gonna be, straight where hunter's first priority, right? And then the cameraman has to fit wherever they can. So I'm typically above their shoulder. I like being over their right shoulder if it's a right-handed shooter. That way, if all goes as planned and we do end up with that shot, you get that beautiful shot right over their shoulder with maybe the bow and frame just out of focus with their subject. Just exactly what you're looking for as a videographer, at least in my opinion. So I like being over their shoulder, up a little ways where I can put my tree arm. I'm not in their way when they pull back and draw. Their elbow isn't in my way. I'm not in their way. I can swing around above them to film to the other side, no problem. And let's say a deer catches us off guard, comes from the other way, I can always swing this way. It's no problem at all, with them being down there, me being up here. So getting in the tree, setting up a tree arm, I'm a little bit different. A lot of guys like to stand and film the whole time. I'm the kind of guy where I like to get comfy. I want to be zero threat to the hunter in spooking deer. I like to sit the whole time, so I actually set my camera where I can look through the EVF and film. That way I'm not staring at this little LCD screen trying to pick focus with sun glare and all that. I really like setting it so that it's at eye level when I'm looking through my EVF, and that's just worked for me a lot. I like keeping it really tight to my body, so it's right here. I can literally put my arm around it, keep it in my muff while I'm sitting there. The camera's sitting here right in my face, ready to go. And it just works out perfect for me, not having to stand up, turn around to film. It really helps out for keeping movement down when you got two people up in a tree. So that's a tip for me. I would definitely recommend. I'm running a Muddy Hunter camera arm. Actually, this is Muddy Pro, I'm sorry. I'm running a Muddy Pro camera arm here. I have a lot of questions about what arms I'm running lately, and this is what's worked for me lately. I'm constantly changing. I buy a new tree arm like every year. So I have a Muddy Hunter at home that I use for more stationary setups if I only got to walk a couple hundred yards to get in the stand. But this one's a lot lighter, the Muddy Pro. So I run this when we're doing longer walks. We're in Alberta here. We've been doing at least 3/4 mile walks in to a lot of the spots we've been hunting. So it just keeps things lighter yet steady. Get out on the end and it's still relatively level. You're always kind of playing with that bubble, trying to find that sweet spot to where you think the deer's going to be and your camera's going to be. That's where I like to keep it level, not right here at the tree, but where I think I'm going to be swung when I'm filming. So that's another little tip for you. If you guys have any suggestions on tree arms, I'd love to hear it. Been going back and forth with guys a lot of times here lately, and I still am not quite happy with my setup. I don't think anybody ever is. So let me know what works for you guys, what you like, what you think can hold weight, especially when you're out with that arm swung out. And we'll get up to the B angle up here. I've been running another mirrorless camera as my B angle just because I can't stand GoPros lately. Seems like I start them up and within 90 seconds they're dead on these colder mornings. So I decided to just rock another small arm to get another mirrorless angle. And obviously the quality is a lot better than a GoPro. I do sacrifice photos as far as being able to swing and take photos, but a lot of times I'll just take this off of here to get, wide interviews or wide shots, that sort of thing. But this I just keep stationary, keep it up here. I usually keep it about 24 millimeters just to get the hunter drawing and all that, and get the background. Maybe if you're lucky you get that deer in the frame as well, which is obviously an end goal. But I like having this up top or lower even here if I can keep it out of my way and the hunters, just to really get their perspective. And I keep that focus on the hunter, so you can see them take their bow off, you can see them struggling to get their release clicked, they're shaking, you're getting that raw emotion. I don't like doing cutaways after the shot. To me it's just super staged. You can tell when you got that real tight shot of somebody clicking in their release and drawing back. I can't stand that. So I like getting it as much natural as possible. So having a second angle really helps to do that. So keep it out of your way, keep it out of the hunter's way, and I think you'll really enjoy that. Some more things here, always strapped in when I'm in the tree, and I always make sure that where that metal clip is hanging isn't going to be banging on my tree arm or anything. See, I can't reach it quite. Always trying to keep that from banging on anything and making any noise that's going to potentially spook a deer. So talk real briefly here about the settings that I'm running. This is an A7R3. This is my main camera that I'm running this fall. Love this camera so far. It's a really photo oriented camera, but it does well on the video side as well. I'm running 4K 24 FPS for all the interviews and scenics that are pretty much stationary. And then I'm running 1080, 120 frames per second for anything action that I can slow down to make it look cool in slow motion. You know, that buttery slow motion everybody likes to see. So lock in my shutter speeds at 1/50 for 4K and 1/250 for slow motion, and then just adjusting my aperture and ISO to the eye to get those shots. And one thing I really like about these Sony cameras I've been talking to people a lot about lately is I'm running a 70-200 f2.8 lens on here for this fall, and 200 millimeters is good for bow hunting, but if you really want to push that lens on these cameras, I set up a custom button on here so that this wheel, you normally tap to the right and that changes your ISO. I skip that step, so now if I just turn this dial, that changes my ISO. And then if I want to punch in and use the APS-C crop sensor, I just tap to the right, and now I got 300 millimeters instead of 200, and it's still 4K and it's still 120 at 1080. So that's a really nice feature that I really missed from my A7S II. So kind of having that crop on here to get me a little bit more punch in and get those tight shots of deer sneaking through the woods. I love that feature. I miss that aspect of the A7S II, but having the better battery on the A7R3 here than the A7S II older series batteries is a huge help. So I'm not looking back to that camera. I get a lot of questions about, you know, what camera should I buy for hunting whitetails and filming, and to me, bow hunting right now, having a A7 III camera and a 70-200 millimeter lens is gonna get you really far. And there's also another option, is a 24-240 lens. It's a little bit slower as far as aperture goes, but it's still a great option. Full frame, very clear, and very diverse range of focal lengths. So that's a pretty brief rundown here of what we do, what we film, how we do it. Film everything. Get that natural stuff as it's happening. The hunter climbing up the tree, lowering his bow, pulling his bow up, setting it on the arm, and getting, you know, stuff that you might look at twice and be like, man, that's cool. Swing your camera over there and film that when you see that stuff, and I think it'll help you tell the story a lot better. So thanks for checking out the vlog today, guys. I'm going to be doing a couple more vlog type stuff here on filming and editing hopefully here in the near future. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like, that gives us a huge help, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.